Alright, well, we're 4 for 4 on die rolls as we're in match 4 of this league. Gonna play first. Man, I wish I could keep this hand. If this or this was a second land, this hand would be great. Alternatively, I could keep it, hoping to draw another land, but I'm not feeling too ballsy. This hand will do. It's kind of like a mulligan to 5 since I have a Gray Merchant in my opener, but um, I mean, I'm not gonna mulligan it. 3 lands, 2 spells, and a Gray Merchant to top it off if I get there. I think it's good enough. So my opponent chose to mulligan as well. I'm going to keep. My opponent kept. I'm going to put that to the bottom. I don't think Unearth is really doing anything for me here. uh, I don't know. Like the being able to bounce back a witch is cool, but other than that, I don't think so. So could be blue red Tron. Could be Is It Blitz. Is It Blitz, I think, is actually not as good game 1 as it could be game 2. It's another Tron deck. Okay. Well, this hand would be really good against Is It Blitz now, with Kumbaj Witches, Victim of Night, and Chainer's Edict, but oh wells. Alright, so my opponent played a Seagate Oracle. I'm not going to use Victim of Night or on this. I value the fact that it's an instant. Also there, if I had drawn a Disfigure, I would rather have gotten value off of that. So just attack my opponent for 1. This is a matchup where Choking Sands is actually better, but that's because the blue-red Tron version looks like my opponent's a little desperate, as opposed to the rug counterpart. Have I only drawn lands? Yeah, I've only drawn lands. Man, that's unfortunate. Has way more removal in it, making it a lot harder to do the discard plan. But I don't think that the blue-red version is as popular as the rug version, but I could be wrong. But because they don't play things like Ancient Stirrings and whatnot, so the Choking Sands plan can work a little bit better. But the other thing about that is it doesn't work as well because this deck doesn't rely heavily on Tron like the rug version does. Discard Ghostly Flicker and Mystical Teachings. And Flame Slash. Alright. Botcher's number 2. Play the Swamp, because this way, at least if I draw a land next turn, I'm not hoping to, but if I do, I get to flashback, what's the name of it? Chainer's Edict. We're just going to attack for 2, and pass the turn. Is my opponent going to kill both my dudes? No. Think Twice, Mystical Teachings. I don't know what they would do at the end turn. Oh, here we go. Oh, Echoing Truth. Okay. That's cool. Phyrexian Rage. Alright, well, we're going to start off by playing Kumbaj Witches to see what my opponent does about it. Or removes Soul. Now we'll play the Phyrexian Rager. And my opponent has a... Oh, well, now they have an Exclude? Jeez. Oh no, they have a Condescend. Man, getting Condescended is just such a beating here. I should have thought of that, to be honest. I really should have thought of Condescend, but I wasn't. I forgot that anyone plays Condescend anymore. That was my own fault. But, you know, what are you going to do? So just to say they bottomed, and I'm guessing they top decked the land. This matchup is not very good game 1. This matchup is even worse game 1 than the rug counterpart. And that's mostly due to the fact that your removal does actually less because they rely more on, I think, you know, winning with Rolling Thunder, but I could possibly be wrong. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. So I'm going to Victim of Night this Seagate Oracle at the end of turn. I think I value Oubliette a little bit more if they play something like Gurmag Angler. Something along those lines. Another Swamp. Alright, well I'm going to hold that one in my hand so that my opponent doesn't know I can flashback the Chainer's Edict. And who knows, 11 turns later this Kumbaj Witches somehow, some way could make it all the way. My opponent does have a Mystical Teachings in the grave, so if they keep forgetting to use it, that's cool. Alright. Get in for another one. Pass the turn. Still not going to play this Swamp. Alright, now they remembered. So we'll see what they get. Probably another teachings, I would assume. Uh, Pulse of Marasa? The heck is a... Oh, yeah. Alright. And they drew Tron. Jeez. We're in a bit of trouble. We're in a bit of trouble. So we're going to get back Mole Drifter. And I think I'd rather use Oubliette on Mole Drifter just in case they play another Pulse of Marasa, rather than use Tendrils on it. Or the Chainer's Edict since I just drew that. One, two... I don't think... I'm not sure... Could I have paid for Condescend? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I couldn't. So they probably don't have Condescend. So I'm just gonna play Phyrexian Rager here. If they do have Condescend, they got me. No, they don't. Alright, cool. Still not gonna play that Swamp. Another Bolt. Oh, Magma Jet, okay. Magma Spray. Sorry, not Magma Jet. Magma Jet, if it was in Pauper, would be insane. Drew a Chittering Rats and playing it. Can't play for a Condescend, so there's really no point. So it looks like my opponent is going to let it resolve and then kill it. So my opponent's just on the I have tons of removal in my hand plan, which does not spell good for me. We're going to be here a while, I think. And my opponent drew Capsize. I'm pretty sure that means I can't win anymore. But, I'm not exactly sure. Be perfectly honest with you. Do I have anything I can get back with Unearth? I do. I have a Phyrexian Rager. Okay. Get in for 3. My opponent is capsizing the Oubliette. Oh, that is right. The creature does come back into play tapped, as I forgot about that. So, alright. Well, I'm just gonna cast Unearth on my Phyrexian Rager. And I don't think I want to cast Oubliette on Mole Drifter, because then they can just do it again, which would be really annoying. Sign in Blood. Alright, well, I'll Sign in Blood myself. Gonna have to discard here after my opponent bounces back another land. Rats. Alright. All in all, this really wasn't a very bad draw. It's just this matchup is just abysmal. Game 1. Discard Swamp, just like old school Necro style. Is this another Mole Drifter? Oh no, he's bouncing back my land's main phase now? Why is he bouncing back my land's main phase now? That seems interesting to me. I'm not sure why, to be honest with you. Okay. Get in for 5. Might block here just to keep his Mole Drifter around. Oh, he's taking 5. No, he's not. He's blocking. Alright. Play another Chittering Rats and pass the turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he has enough. Let's just discard Pestilence. Rather keep the Swamps in my hand, I guess. Yep. Alright, we can't win anymore. I kept it going just to, you know, say like I'm not scooping, but I don't have the patience when I know I already lost. Oh, that was an accident. Okay, so we're gonna bring in all the anti-control cards. Death Tonight's probably good. I'm not sure if Nihil Spellbomb's actually good, but I know that Pestilence isn't very good. Probably Chainer's Edict is not as good. Oh, Disfigure is obviously bad. And the Victim of Night is okay. I think Tendrils is probably less good. And probably just leave in a couple of Chainer's Edicts. Take out one... Oh, I guess. Okay. Probably just keep it like that. I mean, I think Oubliette is a good card at removing creatures. The Victim of the Night being instant is probably good. Yeah, I think that this is okay. So while I can't remove really any creatures, Um, me getting my creatures back is probably good. I'm going to keep this in. I'm not going to duress turn 1, of course. I am just going to uh, play the Baron more so I can go Kambodge, which is turn 2. And we'll see how that works out. I drew a Swamp. Had I known, I still would have played the Baron more. This way I can play the Friction Rager. Okay. Chittering Rats. Chittering Rats is probably better. Chittering Rats is probably better. So, hopefully we draw land, so if we can, we can go... Oh, well, it seems my opponent's a bit desperate again. My opponent did mulligan this time around. Alright, so we'll get in for 3. And we will play Rager into Swamp, into Duress. And we see no land. We see Mnemonic Wall. Wow, my opponent's hand is great. I don't really care about Chainer's Edict. I do want to take the Flame Slash, though, since everything else in my opponent's hand is slow. I want to take the Flame Slash because I want my opponent to be able to not remove my creatures too quickly. The Pulse Marauder and the Compulsive Research are kind of slow, so I think I'll just take the Flame Slash and then pass the turn. Oh, my opponent drew a land anyway. The other thing is the Chainer's Edict is a sorcery speed spell, so not really sure I care about that too much. The other thing is, like, my opponent might have to discard 2 spells anyway if they draw a land or 2, because they're going to need their lands. So, we'll see how that goes. So my opponent discarded Capsize and Pulse. That's interesting. A Distress. Okay, so let's get in for 5. Go Sign in Blood first. See what we're working with. Drew 2 more Swamps, which is kind of sucky. So we see Negate. Really? Negate, Seagate Oracle, Mnemonic Wall, Chainer's Edict. I think I want to take the Seagate Oracle. Again, I don't really care about the Chainer's Edict. I could just sack this. The Negate's not really doing much at this moment. And then the Mnemonic Wall, they can get back Capsize or what have you. Maybe I just take... Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Actually, I think I take the Mnemonic Wall just to give him less options late game. But the Negate is something we'll have to note. So we'll just say go. I mean, when my opponent plays Seagate Oracle, unless they draw an untapped land, I can just oubliette it. And, worse, if they block these 2 guys, I can just shoot. I guess we would trade then, which would not be very good. Alright. Cycle. Swamp. That's what I was looking for. So we'll go ahead and play this. Do that. Get in for 5 again. And now next turn, currently we win, depending on what my opponent does. Another Seagate Oracle. Okay. Well, the Negate in my opponent's hand doesn't do anything. They did not Chainer's Edict, however, which makes me wonder. So I'm going to cycle this first. Sign in Blood. I don't think I'm going to wait. I'm just going to attack here for 5 and get in for 3. And then play Grey Merchant and go for the win now. Oh, well, I guess the problem is, like, if they draw Condescend, it's a problem. So, so they have Chainer's Edict, Negate, and I think that's all I know. The other 2 cards. I think I'd rather just go for it. If they have it, they have it. If they don't, wow, they really have it. That sucks. Oh, Mana Leak. Okay, well, I wasn't gonna be able to play around that. Not gonna play the Swamp. I'm a little surprised. I don't find Mana Leak to be a very good card in Pauper. But in the Tron deck, I guess it's okay. Alright, we'll go ahead and sack that. So he's got Negate and a blank. Negate's going to probably counter this Sign in Blood. So let's just get that over with since he's definitely going to counter it. Then we'll get in for 2. And then play Kumbadwiches afterwards. And pass the turn. Might as well keep the swamp in my hand. I don't think playing the swamp matters all that much. So he can tap out and he can go Chainer's Edict. But I don't know if I'm really upset about that. That looks like what he's doing, since he floated 2 black. Played a land, which is weird. Okay. Chainer's Edict, you broken card, you. Duress. Alright, well, let's see the last card in my opponent's hand. What is it? Oh, it's a lightning bolt. Damn. Alright, well, just gotta say go. My opponent's living on air, but my opponent considerably has better top decks than me. But if we top deck a Gray Merchant, we win the game. If we top deck Death's Denied or anything like that, we are also in good shape. That's also a good card to top deck. That less so. Alright. Say go. Opponent says go. That's not a bad thing. Oh, never mind. No, never mind. Corrupt. Okay. Well, now they're dead to corrupt, so hopefully they drew like a lightning bolt or something. Oh, they played a land. Didn't even notice. I just slow rolled my opponent by accident. Whoops. I really didn't even notice they played a land. I just thought that they didn't, because all their lands look the damn same. Okay, so since they're playing Chainer's Edict, maybe Nihil Spellbomb is actually good. That time, I think my opponent had a good draw, but I think my draw was just good at combating it. I think I still like the Okiba Gang Shinobi. The only thing I'm wondering about is the Unearths, but I guess Unearth is probably better than anything else I could be playing. So I think I'll just keep it the same and hope that Game 3 goes as good as Game 2 did. I think that's really all I can hope for. Another 1-land hand. I think I'm definitely going to mulligan it with 2 Gurmag Anglers in it. Alright. Alright, I'll keep that. Having the Death Denied in my opening hand is kind of unfortunate, but, you know. So I'm going to go Duress here just so I can see what my opponent's working with, since I have the Distress. Twin Bolt, Prophetic Prism, Teachings, Lightning Bolt, and Moldrifter. Wow. I'm going to take the Prism, though, since that's going to slow my opponent down a little bit. I don't know what the heck delay is. So take the Prism and pass the turn. But my opponent has a pretty damn good hand. And they drew really good land. Alright, well, I think here I'll still just go Kumbadwiches and pass turn. Okay, so there's the Shimmering Grotto. And there goes the Moldrifter. And the Prism is gone. So I know 1, 2, and 3 out of their 6 cards. Alright, I think I'd rather Sign in Blood here. Got a second Death's Denied. Alright. Get in for 1, pass turn. A second Death's Denied is not terrible. It's certainly not great. So they use the Lightning Bolt, and I have to wonder if they have a second Lightning Bolt. Alright, so we'll go Distress here. Yep, I was right, they had a second Lightning Bolt. So I think here, probably just take Teaching, since Twin Bolt doesn't really do anything. They'd have to use both of them to get rid of this, so just take the Teachings and pass the turn. So they have 2 lands, an Urza's Tower and a dual land. And they have a Twin Bolt and Lightning Bolt. I don't remember if Twin Bolt is an instant, but I'm still gonna play this. Alright. Drawing another land there is not the greatest. Okay. Alright, get in for 2. And then I think I'll just... I don't think I want to duress my opponent yet, and the reason for that is they're going to flashback the Teachings now. So I kind of want to try to get as much value out of this duress as I can. Because if I duress them and then they go mystical teachings for like capsize or something, I want to be able to duress it away. Drawing both Death Denies here, kind of sucky. So my opponent got Pulse Marasa to get back the Mole Drifter. And they drew a third land. And I'm guessing that they're going to evoke it now. I don't see why they would, but maybe they will. No, they didn't. I didn't think so. Yeah, see, this matchup is worse because they actually have more answers. So they can just out-answer you. It's kind of like why the blue-black teachings deck that wins with just Curse of the Bloody Tome is really bad for you. Mono black control, you're basically kind of the same deck. Like, you're just trying to keep everything off the board, but their deck does it better because they draw cards, is basically what's going on here. So I'll go ahead and duress and see our imminent demise. Oh, I don't really have much. Oh, Twin Bolt is an instant. Huh, that's good to know. So, we have not drawn anything. We've only drawn 2 creatures. We have drawn 3 discard spells, but unfortunately, Mole Drifter kind of beats that. Which, yeah, Mole Drifter's too good of a card sometimes. Just too good. And now, if you look, like, what would Choking Sands do here, really? I mean, I guess I could Choking Sands away 1, 2, and 3, but then they still have Tron, and they would still have more colored mana. So I wouldn't really be able to do much. I'm just going to play out the Okiba Gang Shinobi. Since I have Death's Denied, I can kind of work with it. I think I'm going to end up scooping here shortly, though, because I really don't see me winning anymore. Yeah, not with that many Mole Drifters from my opponent. So they chose to use Flame Slash instead of Twin Bolt. Does Twin Bolt not deal 2 damage divided? Does it deal like 1 damage to each of up to 2 target creatures or something? I kind of feel stupid right now, because I apparently don't know what Twin Bolt does. I don't see myself winning this match at all. I think I'm just too far buried. My opponent, see, that's the thing about this deck too. It doesn't even need Tron to beat you. I tried playing this deck, couldn't get it working. The deck hated me. it hated me. Doesn't mean it's a bad deck. I'm just gonna pay 1 extra just because I don't really understand how to cast this card apparently on Magic Online. Because I hate this stupid client. Probably shouldn't be saying that since I'm using it to record, but eh. Oh, it does play Counterspell. Okay. Alright. I think we're done here. This might be a premature scoop, but I think we're dead. I think we're dead. So, as you can see, this matchup is actually kind of bad for mono black control, but I knew that going in. It's a deck that you really need to explore. It's a deck where you really need to have a good game plan against to beat it. But anyway, that was match number 4, and we're 3-1 in the league now. Let's see if we can go for the 4-1.